So we're getting ready to get underway here. Shane's going to look at his pack. He's got a Rakdos Cackler, Treetop Village, Sigarda. Very interested. I'm not much of a cube draft player myself. Only the best removal spell in the format, Swords to Plowshares, is there. Looks like Shane is pretty interested in forcing white as he shoves these cards up to the front of the pack. I'm not sure when I've done minimal cube drafts myself. Once I picked one, pack one to Jace the Mind Sculptor, and just played a blue-red control deck, and it didn't really flesh out that well. But it was my first cube draft, and I was just pumped to be playing Jace the Mind Sculptor since I missed its time in Standard almost entirely. Then the second time I actually took the cube draft down, pick one, pack one, an Isamaru, Hound of Kanda, and we have a Swords to Plowshares here as the first pick for Shane. Again, pretty much just the best removal spell ever printed in Magic. 1 white mana, exile target creature. Controller gains life equal to its toughness. Feel free to help me out with these old cards if I get them wrong, guys. As I said, more of a standard modern player. The current limited format, I do not get many opportunities to cube, so I'll get a lot more names than I will exact wordings. So feel free to help me figure this out. Well, we all figure it out too if you're not much of a cube drafter yourself. As we see Jason Lux keeping tabs in the entries for Joe Warren, and Judge Joe Shea doing a wonderful job supervising and calling the draft. And we take a look at the second pack. We've got Demonic Tutor, Balance. Looks like we're going to see... It's very interested in a black-white deck then. Shane is very much a blue mage here from what I see him playing Constructed, so I would not be surprised to see him actually trying to move in on an Esper deck, but he feels very strongly about Hellspark Elemental and has moved that up to the front, maybe considering a Boros strategy, exactly what I did in the one cube draft I won. A strategy I can say definitely is effective, and he goes with Balance. I first picked a Swords to Plowshares. My apologies there. Take a look at his next pack, and it's starting to confirm the kind of Esper direction as he pulls a Consecrated Sphinx and a Leshnorn, then a Mirari's Wake, and Mirari's Wake may not fit the strategy he originally chose. It's certainly incredibly powerful and deserves respect. Just because you're aiming for an archetype doesn't mean you completely give up on it. And there is a Leshnorn as Shane's third pick. As John makes sure his wife gets some airtime on the stream there. Let me take a look at Shane's fourth pack. Free to let me know what you guys think he should take at any given point. Riftwing Cloudskate is a Modern Masters card everybody's played with a lot recently, so everybody's very familiar with the value and the power of that card. Suspend is an incredibly powerful mechanic. Venser seems like a very powerful card, and that is what he's going to go with. Seems to be headed into that Esper control style deck. Has he taken a black card yet? Maybe it's just blue-white. And he looks He's got the watery grave up to the front like he's at least thinking about splashing it. And there's a Demir Signet showing up very high on his pick board if he's separating it from the pack. Maybe a precursor goal, and that's definitely Delver. This is a called draft. Judge Joe Shea is calling out a time limit for these guys when they need to make their selections by and move into the next pack. And here Shane goes with his Demir Signet. Two-mana artifacts that accelerate and fix are always very, very, very strong selections. And we see a Muldrifter and a Cryptic Command. It's pretty much automatic Muldrifter here, I think, but Mimic Vat, I've seen some degenerate things happen with a Mimic Vat. Day of Judgment, Wrath of God's always needed, and there we go. That's the selection. Hard, got to be tough to pass up a Muldrifter, and I can't imagine he would have done it if he would have had a Supreme Verdict already or a different board wipe. Anyone in the colors. So Nicol Bolas, not likely to be the selection. I do see a Vampiric Tutor. Having some trouble getting the rest of them. Palladium Mirror. These old cards are going to test me, folks. I do apologize. Impulse and Palladium Mirror is the selection after it's retrieved. Of all the cards in a cube you can drop, that's definitely a good one to do. I believe this is a fully unpowered cube, so you will not see any pieces of power for these players today. And Phantasmal Image is the selection here for Shane, among my absolute favorite of creatures ever printed, especially in blue. I have the Cube Tutor open. I will double check that, make sure. Oh, I do actually. I'm sorry. I think this looks like it is actually powered. The Moxes are there. Yep, Time Walk's there. I know there was a discussion of it, and not being a cube guy, I did not partake very often or very fervently. So control magic here for Shane. Steal target creature. It's removal and adding a board presence at the same time. Did Consecrated Sphinx table? Does that happen in Cube? Makes me want to play Cube. And a Pithing Needle for Shane. Probably very likely to end up as a sideboard card here. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to watch this. Like I said, I've only done two cube drafts in my life, and one of them I got stomped, but I played a Jace the Mind Sculptor a bunch. The other one, I went undefeated. Oh, the Muldrifter came back. That's so big. Blue's wide open, huh? Time to open red bombs or red mocks. So this is pretty crazy. Shane must be quite pleased so far. Yeah, he absolutely did get that late of a Muldrifter. It's pretty ridiculous. Blue is wide open, and Shane is in a very good spot.
Everything good, Jerry?
Yeah. So I hope you guys waited a little while to fill out your round one brackets, since now we know a little bit of what's going on in Shane's deck here. He put some serious thought into whether or not he was going to be taking that Mole Drifter with the selection when he saw it the first time around. Just a huge selection for him. I think John may be trying to help me a little bit figure out what that control magic is. But looks like we're headed into the second pack here. Straight Counterspell is there. Evan Ural's Disc, A Path to Exile, Angel of Serenity, Thran Dynamo. That is a Mox Sapphire. I'm pretty bad at picking out Moxes, but it's definitely a Mox. Emerald. Mox Emerald, okay. And yeah, you notice that Shane does not have any green cards, but a Mox is a Mox. Free mana is free mana. It's an extra land drop. 0 mana Explore with no card draw. And you can just take Moxes as you see them in cube. Yeah, turn one land Mox Signet Go could happen for Shane today, as scary as that sounds. So we clearly have some avid cube players here in the Twitch channel with us. Now, do they just replace lands when they take these Moxes, or how do they fit them into the deck in association with the mana curve? So he's pulled it to the front. Shadow Mage Infiltrator, Tezzeret, Hero of Bladehold, Engineered Explosives, Prismatic Lens. I can't tell exactly what counterspell that is there. Dissipate? Is that just Dissipate? Sure looks that way. I was incorrect. Yeah, I looked it up on the list that I posted earlier, and there it is a powered cube. There was some discussion about whether or not this cube would be powered for this event, but in the end it became hidden information until the event actually occurred half an hour beforehand. And yeah, Dissipate. You play it in Standard. Okay, so we're looking at Celestial Colonnade, Chainer's Edict, Scion of the Vitu-Ghazi, a Worm Coil Engine, a Venser, Pact of Negation, and an Ulamog. I knew Worm Coil would have to be pretty high on his choices, and there we go. Artifact accelerators all over the place in Shane's deck, and that's going to help him get some pretty darn quick Worm Coils. I am sure he's picked up on that. You have to be a little, hesitant about sending the signal still that blue's open. Like everybody else saw that Mole Drifter go around, and that had to make a bunch of them scratch their heads. I do know there's drafters in this cube that wouldn't touch blue, but there's plenty in there that would, and I won't be afraid to. It's like Mind Twist and Spectral Possession are the ones he's considering the most. Condescend joins the conversation. I think you got to take the Mind Twist here, right? There we go. So the card text here for Mind Twist, the Oracle text I should say, is target player discards X cards at random. So it's 1 black, X mana. Destroy target player's hand. Lingering Souls. Academy Ruins has to be at least a little tempting here as well. Only to a certain degree though. Looks like Lingering Souls, or Future Sight. That's what he was thinking about. So if he wanted some tokens around and was upset he missed Spectral Possession, he'll be happy about the Lingering Souls. And Frost Titan, I don't know what that gold card was he pulled up second. It's like a Fetid Heath. It's a mystery blue card. There's not too many of those. I think he just had a nod to the fact that Fauna Shaman was still available. Maybe wishes he bit on the Mirari's Wake early. Could have been more of a Bant deck, but I can't imagine he's complaining too much right about now. Wall of Omens to the front. Glenelendra, Archmage, also in the front. Both 2-for-1s. Wall of Omens. Let me see. I would probably snap pick that Sorin, but Fiend Hunter's in the conversation. And is that a Vendilion click? Blue card's table, right? That's might not be enough left to actually table. I don't think you get a last pick V-click. I was pretty sure you didn't get a second last pick. Muldrifter too, so we'll have to see. The Nevin Ural's Disc and Thran Dynamo tabled from this pack when we saw it earlier. I'm expecting Disc the way he picked the Day of Judgment. Nope, Thran Dynamo. He just wants to accelerate into the Elesh Norn and Wormcoil engine that he's already got. It's a very fair strategy, I guess. Not sure how to define fair then. What did he pull out there? There's a lot going on here. The one card he didn't want, he takes the Prismatic Lens. So the value of mana fixing. So it also accelerates if you don't need the color. Hawk is providing all the fun interactions that Shane is drafting so far. Turn 1 land, Mox, Signet. Turn 2 Dynamo. Turn 3 land, Mind Twist for 7. That Spectral Possession also made its way around the table. So Shane is getting the cards he wanted here. You know, all the cards he seemed to really put up a fight. And there's the Future Sight. Everything where he was like, I don't know which one. He's getting the card that he didn't take to table. Future Sight is a hefty blue requirement. I can see that one making it around. Wall of Denial. I'm not sure which Djinn that is. Somebody's going to have to help me. Serendibifreet. It's not a Djinn. There we go. Serendibifreet, for those of you who don't know, is a 3/4 flyer for 3 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, it deals 1 damage to you. Just an incredibly efficient creature. Find a way to make it through a Prodigal Sorcerer's worth of damage. Something tells me Shane can defend himself fairly well. So we get a look through Shane's deck here as he sorts things out a little bit for himself. Just wondering how many of each type of card he has. Looks like there's some artifact ramp he set aside, some land fixing. You see Mike Cruz there, Aubrey Reese, AJ Leno, Bob Martin. I gotta wonder how their decks will be able to stack up against this Esper monstrosity of Shane's here so far. Stoneforge Mystic has no equipment yet, but if he sees almost any equipment, he can just snap take it. Still don't expect him to take the Stoneforge. Looks like he's going to be taking one of these artifacts that ramp him up. Yeah, I thought he was going to be taking the stone from the way he was flipping through it, but there goes the signet. Porcelain Legionnaire Kitchen Finks. That's a Bitter Blossom, Brainstorm, Preordain, Blade Splicer. So a lot of Magic's most powerful spells and a couple of colors here. This is a great pack. I don't know what his creature count is. He'll have to be a little wary of that, won't he? I'm sure it's not as relevant in Cube. You're much more able to. Yeah, he hasn't taken any fetches yet. And Blade Splicer, so maybe that's what he's concerned about here is the creature count. I think it's probably got to be Detention Sphere. Just seems so strong. Terramorphic Expanse if he needs it, but land tax too, also very, very strong. Fixes his mana a little bit better probably than Terramorphic Expanse. Looks like he'll be taking a Terminus or the Coalition Relic. See anything else he's looking at near as hard? Here we go. The Relic it is. Thirst for Knowledge, Remand. Paladin Invec's not going to be the choice, I don't think. Joins the conversation at least. There's a fetch there he can grab, but he doesn't have a single duel. It's a swamp yet. It's hard to imagine he gets one now. So he takes the Remand. See a Seagate Oracle, Enlightened Tutor, Evolving Wilds, Flooded Strand. I am half expecting the Flooded Strand. The Tutor it is, though. I already missed Brainstorm, he said. He seems to have an adequate amount of fixing, even though not much of it's by way of his lands, although fetch is obviously being thinning is so helpful. We got a Vivid Creek and Volrath Stronghold, Shelldock Isle. Yeah, hideaway lands are usually very, very strong. Oh, he did have a swamp that was a duel, so I thought he would have taken the Verdant Catacombs if he had a card that fit that mold. Darksteel Shores. Takes the land. So Shane's deck is just about taking shape here. Just filling out the last couple of spots. Main board and sideboard. I cannot make out this card. My apologies. Oh, the Brainstorm tabled. So did everything. The whole pack tabled, and we've got a Bitter Blossom. I gotta say, I feel like Shane's got to be in just a wonderful position. I know I don't play much Cube, but I'm still in a Facebook group with the group of guys that I would Cube with when I got the opportunity. And they're the guys I was with when I won with that Boros deck. The Cube is actually level 1, I believe, judge in Buffalo, Bill Carrick's Cube. And constantly I'm seeing these blue-based control decks in Cube at the top of the list. And it seems like people are shying away from it, and I don't exactly know why. Exclude. Counter target creature spell. Draw a card. Kind of like that. I think he wanted that Volrath Stronghold.